Great and beautiful morning, afternoon, and evening to you all, wherever you are joining me at this hour. I will say welcome to 106th edition of Investdata Trading Academy live with Ambrose. As we speak now, the global market is looking down. There is nothing at all to show that the market today across the globe is in red. Market is in pure red. Local here, international, everywhere market is red. I will tell you that the market will continue to respond to every form of news, every form of move, either from the earning side, from the oil price. At the same time, from policies from the central bank and even also other policy making and also the political environment all are not helping the market across the group. As we speak now, I will tell you that the global market is in red. All the indices for US market, when I mean US market, Dow Jones, I mean S&P, all are in red at this hour. If you look toward the toward the European market, all also in red. Africa, mixed, and that of also the Asian market, can see also a mixed market there. But I will tell you, largely across the globe, market is in red. When I mean red, in red. Back home here, our market is also in red, extending the red or the bearish situation we saw yesterday to this hour. That means we're having at this time we're having about 6 straight days pullback or a red situation, a bearish mode in the market as we speak. But I will tell you, and in all this, we are already at the center of earning season across the group. But if you look at what is happening in US, I'll tell you the kind of what we call a profit warning coming from Walmart. At the same time, an other issue happening in Europe where the gas issue between Russia and Europe also tend to reduce to about 20% and all those stuff. All these are what is influencing the market. And don't forget that today, the Fed will start their meeting for 2 days, and that already fear of about 75% hiking rate is also there. And don't forget that last week here, the Europe, the ECB also hiked their rate with about 50 points, 50 basic points. All these are what is influencing market activities. Yes, oil price try to rebound after 3 days on what, on a tight supply because of the Russia and the Ukraine issue. All these also impacting that market. You can see that there's a little uptrend in price of crude oil. Crude oil around 106 as we speak now, $106.2 per barrel. All these are what is important. I will tell you, the fear in the market is now that we are seeing that the interest rate has continued to rally, and even with saying increase in interest rate, money will start moving to fixed income market. As we speak now, no money is moving more to fixed income market. Also, equity market, at the peak of any season, we can see that the market is also rising. It tells you that the investing environment of the traders or investors are waiting to see where would they go from here. The numbers that have supported local market in our market since 2020 to date, that earnings are still positive, but we're seeing market driving. Don't forget that before now, the movement of our market has been largely influenced by foreign players. But I will tell you, from 2020 to date, our movement of our price has been largely on earnings, performance of companies that have supported the market to this level. But as we speak now, because of fear here and there, despite we are seeing no positive earnings that have hit the market so far, you can see that market is not reacting to those earnings. We saw the earnings that came from UCAP. UCAP also lost yesterday, trading around the 12 naira as we speak now. We saw the earnings that came from ETI. That was also a good number. You can see that ETI lost yesterday. The one that came from Unilever. Now we saw another one that came from FCMB and Boa Cement yesterday. These numbers are not reacted to this morning because of what the market is really a bit in a dicey situation, because the full trader yesterday tells you that most of the players in the market are waiting to see That's why you didn't see a lot of activities yesterday. About just 98 point something no million share was traded. This is the lowest I can see so far in the market. It tells you that people are really waiting to see where the market is going before any action. Now this morning we're also seeing MTN leading the pack of the decline. Market has now have lost almost about 1.75%. That is huge for a day, and this is what no market was expecting immediately. There was a rate hike in Nigeria here, to about the 100% to 14%, and also inflation hitting about 18.6%. This was what we were looking at. But throughout that week, we see the market was kind of side trending. They were saying that no, everyone is trying to like access what is happening in the fixed income market, what is happening in the equity market. But I believe that what we're seeing now is as a lot of the high cap stocks, kind of shedding weight. We're seeing the life of MTN trading almost below 20 200 naira as we speak now. That is also influencing our market. That's why the market is in this kind of shape as it is now. But I will encourage our investors that are in good position. This is time for you to watch your position. For those that are in MTN that bought earlier, yes, we don't look personally. I've tried to find out if there's any news about the result. But if it is not the result, I can see that it is not only MTN that is also moving that direction. You can see the life of assets almost around below 9 naira. Assets, if you tell me assets to go below 1 naira, I won't be 9 naira. I won't believe it. But it has crossed it. You can see that this is not only MTN to be a general mood board. We are looking to see if there's any impact that will come from this earnings season, because our market have been supported by earnings all this while for the past 3 straight years. Then we believe that if that is what we are seeing, because if you look at the foreign portfolio report that came for half year, you can see that the foreign portfolio is still below 15% of the market. It tells you that largely is our own indigenous players, especially the institutional investors, which the PFAs and others, and also the high cap retail investor, and also other people that are playing the market. If that is so, that means we want to see if these earnings also remain as expected, because we can see that the trend we saw in Q1 was seeing in a few of them that have just hit the market, but we can see that also high cost of activity is eating up, or high cost of finance is also eating up some manufacturing company that hit the market of recent. It tells you that this is how you should invest, that where should be the position of portfolio, which sector should be looking at, where should be building your tent. But I believe that this is not time for us to panic. Yes, it might become a concern for every design investor that yes, market is on the southward movement. But I believe that on the full general trend, you can see that market is still very kind of on the long term still bullish or strong. But on a short term, like I said yesterday, on a weekly and the daily chart, it's not looking friendly at all, because market has almost breaking another strong support level. If that is sustained, that means market is going to touch that 49. And I said that when market touch 49, that's why we now say yes, you can start saying that what is wrong. But I believe that now this is the last week of the earnings season. We call it the peak of earnings. We're seeing them start rolling in this morning. We're seeing about almost 30 coming in this morning. Yes, audited result from CNI releasing PLC. We saw the NACO releasing their result. Another one that just make available this morning. We expect that between now and Friday, this result will tell where the market is going, because institutional investors that really have the money to play, yes, going into the fixed income, because the more we're seeing inflation going up, the more most of their position are also in red. Because as we speak now, don't forget that inflation for the month of June was around 18.6, and because of high cost of petroleum now, which was adjusted, also diesel, we expect that this trend will remain. And that means, if possible, at the end of the day, we are seeing inflation crossing 20, and that will be the first time in the history of Nigeria. If that happen at a cross 20, tells that no matter where you are, the fixed income market, where you think that is safe haven, your return is red. And how long is it going to stay? Because as long as the CPN also going to adjust rate, because of to match inflation, to curtail inflation, that has the way of also squeezing the manufacturing sector, the economy that we're thinking that our policy is going to help, is going to be finally what put in a dark, because the more cost of production is increasing, cost of finance is increasing, many companies will shut their door, and that also lead to unemployment. That also increase the insecurity around the corner, around the economy as we speak now. I believe that this is the time for us as a nation, our economic managers, to rethink their economic policy, and also look at how they can address some important issues as we speak now as a nation, so that at the end of the day, this economy can find. Yes, we know that it's not peculiar to Nigeria. It's not only us because of what is happening globally, but I believe that different climates are applying different measures. It's not because US is increasing rate, the EU is doing. Yes, you can see that life of China, the life of Japan, they are not following so trend at all. But you can see also the able to manage the economy. Let's sit down and see where are we going from here. It is better we look inward and make sure that the the deficiency in what in our foreign exchange is not helping matter, or no insecurity is not helping matter. There are a lot of things that is beyond the monetary policy that also we need to fix so that at the end of the day, farmers can go to farm and prices of goods can also start abating, start coming down. If that is what we will see going to the future, fine. But the way we are going with our policy, because we are seeing other climate hiking rates and we are just in that direction, automatically we're going to deflate the economic government we have seen. And actually, we have seen that we already entered contraction in terms of national output or industrial output already, because you can see as high cost is coming and also we are increasing your cost, consumption will be also be kind of typhoon, very so just typhoon because of what the purchasing power of these people they are going to buy your goods, you are getting the price is not increasing. For that, if they are consuming four of your product before, they manage to consume one, you have others on the shelf. Also, you have used high cost to produce. You can see that this is going to put the economy in a direction. And I pray that we shouldn't go back to another recession again. But yes, you can see we have the 3.11 GDP for first quarter, but that's no guarantee that you can't go back to recession. Because the way we are going, if you can see that the interest rate continue on the right on the high rise, and interest rate inflation, we are leading toward to late contraction, and contraction comes toward is lead toward recession. I think we need to look at our policies and see where we can touch it left and right by the policy manager, so that at the end of the day, we can see all these things is going down on the companies operating in Nigeria, because they are not operating outside Nigeria. As far as your policy is not favoring them, it's time for you to rethink your strategies and see what you can do at the same time to make sure that your policy helps company. Yes, we are learned that you've intervened here and there. Intervention I've supported before now, but now what you are seeing, you can see that all intervention is like for me being washed away by what by policy change. But I think of this of monetary policy by CBN following the trend, fine, we are not bringing them with the job, but we should look at the environment that it is not at the same with others. For that, we should know how to apply some strategies or some policies that also help us to manage the economy. If not, because we are following the trend of others, central bank of the world, might finally take us back to where we are coming from. I believe we will not go back to no. I believe I don't want us to go back to what to that state. Yes, before we go into looking at technicals, I want to look at the few results that hit the market this week. Say this week, yesterday till now. I'll tell you, we'll start from Boa Cement. I'll tell you, Boa Cement result hit the market. I can see a wonderful result from there, but the market is here to respond to the next numbers Boa as we speak now. Boa top line was up, moved from 100 and 124.78 billion to 188 billion. You see, that was a good growth in terms of top line above 20%. For me, it's a good one. Also, in the same direction, we also see the PAT in that direction, moving from 43.40 billion to 61.38 billion naira. This is more than also 30% growth. For me, it's a good one for the company. I'm also seeing that from the figure we're seeing here, that the EPS moved from 1 naira 28 kobo to 1 naira 81 kobo. You can see the good growth here, and this is supposed to support payment at the end. Despite that the price of what does not move on the strength of the number, it only moves when you see activities there, and this comes from even the major shareholders. But this number will also give an insight. If at the end of the day we're already seeing half year, we're already seeing seeing 1 naira 81 kobo, it tells you what we should also expect at the end of the year. That means a forecast of around 450 full year earnings are likely to come. That means if they grow from what they paid last year, about 2 naira 70 kobo to around 3 naira, from earnings hitting for me, that we should also be looking at from the stock. On this note, here you need to also keep your eyes on the stock for those that want to play defensive with the stock. Because if you look at also the profit margin, for me the profit margin now has moved from around 28.4 to around 32.55% in terms of profit margin. It's a good one for Boa. It tells you that this is a company that can also look at because of what? Because of those that are thinking for to protect their portfolio. That is how to also look at. Also, we want to look at another financial result that hit the market. This financial result came from FCMB. No, the gross earnings for the period also moved from 94.32 billion to around to to 126.22 no 22 billion. It tells you that this also is a sign for you to know that this bank also is also on the way of also providing a good no a good result at the end of the year. And this is also one of the also the second tier banks that we're also looking at, that at the end of the day they might also come up with a good number that will support their price. The top line was up by almost more than 100% up. For me, it's a good one for the stock. Also, you can see also in the same direction. We also see that the PAT moved from 7.6 billion to 13.6 billion, also more than 100% up. For me, it's a good one for this stock. But if you look at the end of the day, you want to look at what is the the earning per share for this company for this period. Like that, the earning per share is what you and I are interested, because that is area that you want to see if the payment that will come at the end of the day, where it's going to go from here. That number alone also will give you insight of what you expect from this company. But if you look at the EPS, it moved from 38 kobo to 69 kobo. It's almost 7 kobo. You can see this more than double. For me, it's a good one for the company. But if you go back and look at the profit margin, this area where we also look at profit margin for this company for profit margin for this company, and also now it's around for the 2022 it's about 10.2 10.82% for profit margin. You can see that in every 1 naira earnings there, about 10 kobo is being also, or 11 kobo is being what retained for by this company, this FCMB, this financial institution. For me, it's the time for you also to watch and see what one can make from it at the end of the day. But I believe that these companies who are seen on the exchange, they are giving us showing us sign of this they are giving us potential to give us sign what will happen at the end of the day. But for me, another stuff that I want to look at their result now is the NASCOM. NASCOM don't release results before we started this class. NASCOM result also came to the market this morning. You can see also, if you look at the result for NACO, this is one of the also the consumer goods sector, and also a manufacturing company. If you look at the number that came from NACO, yes, that's like the top line for me look attractive. But if you look at the bottom line, I'll tell you it's flat. And ask yourself, why is it flat? It's as a result of what? Increased cost of what? Of activity. And this is just at the beginning. Now, what we will see if this trend continue, and the CBN continue to work to high rate, and they were seeing already cost of production and cost of one is on the rise. What will be the fate of this the fate of this company in Nigeria? And this is what part of what is also slowing down performance as we speak now. That's why you need to look at this, because the top line for this company as we speak is, for me, it's not a bad one. We are seeing almost like from the 17.57 to 25.13, represent about almost 38, above 30-40% up, which is good. But if you go back down and look at the PAT, I'll tell you that the PAT is very, very flat. PAT is flat because it moved from 1.45 billion to 1.55 billion. Say that this is just margin growth. So margin, we can see I call it a mixed number for this company, and that also reflecting what we saw in the life of Unilever. If you remember when we were talking about results about 2 weeks ago, when the result, because this is one of the early filer, you can see what we are discussing there manifesting here also at this time, that sector has what a long way to go, because of what cost is eating deep into their operation. It moved from like I just said, just 6%, 6.8 or 9% up for PAT. It's not that has about almost 40% top line up, but the bottom line is just seeming to just 1.55 billion from a company that made about 25 billion turnover. You can see that the profit margin there is nothing to run to go home about it, to think about it, because I will tell you, this is, for me, is no thing to reckon with, because at the end of the day, the company is working for a cost, and there's nothing for investors like you and I at the end of the day. And what are we in for? We are only there to make money. Every investment is for us to make money. If at the end of the day, the profit margin for the year 2022 is just 6.2%, for me, it's not to write home about. It's very, very poor, but I believe that we can see the impact of cost. If you go back and see the cost for this period, the finance cost alone, I'm not talking of cost of production, cost of sales, but cost of finance alone moved from 25.2 million to 222.14 million. You can see the growth from that cost. From 25 million to 222.4 million. In terms of growth in cost for this period of 6 months alone. It tells you what if the CBN continue to hike rate, and at the high rate they continue to have to kind of renegotiate with their bankers, where the bank and the cost is going to eat into their profit. That's why as an investor with this class, you know where you start putting your attention now. Which are those sectors that can easily shift or push their cost toward the consumer because of their essential product. There are some, so if you push your cost to them, that will also lead toward dumping your product. If your product have close substitute for them at a cheaper price, I can tell you those that are taking if, for example, we are taking four carton of let's say 1 liter in a quarter with your family, and then because of course we are managing to take one, those one also affect the sales. That's why yes, they have access to moving this thing outside the shop of Nigeria and they sell it in dollar, but high cost will always find a way of fitting to them. That means CPNs also balance their policies now to know exactly how, so that at the end of the day, the companies that are listed on the exchange will not be bleeding in terms of cost, and at the same time, shareholders that are investing will just be looking at lucrative in those companies. We want improve policy that also will turn around and impact. In all this, there are some sectors that investors also to keep their eyes. I can see even the cost for the banking sector I have seen, but the one I've seen, even the improvement, yes, there's high cost there, but not as compared to what we saw in the manufacturing companies. The result that came from for ETI and that of FCMB, if you look at their cost to years, I know that they have element of cost, but it's not as high as that of what of the manufacturing company we are seeing now. That tells me that the manufacturing sector, especially those that are importing raw material, for those that have done backward integration, I always say is yes, you might see no more. I also know that the exchange rate is not helping matter. So as of today, exchange rate in Nigeria has cost about 660, around 670 now as we speak. It's not helping matter again. It has a lot of putting pressure on this pressure on this company. For that, you should also know exactly what to do that should play this market now. Because I believe that what is happening generally, if it's a general market trend correction we're seeing that it's major high cap that are leading in this trend now. Like I always tell you that it is one industry or one stock will lead the uptrend. To speak now, we're seeing Airtel have led the uptrend to where it is that has not started varying. Can see that now it is the same telecom group trying to lead the correction was we're seeing MTN moving from as high as even 270 that touch. You can see gradually coming below 200. But I believe that if the result come and it beat the expectation, unless there is no kind of feeling in the market already that the result is bad, but we want to see the result for us to know exactly the position of the company. If not, because of the sector they are operating and the nature of their service, we believe that pulling back will be an opportunity for designing investors to get if there is fund. But if not, if you are in that position, you can still wait. But I think averaging down to see this number will be very good strategy, because if after the pullback and the results come and we see positive number, this is another way of creating an opportunity for those that understand how to trade pullback. That pullback is the opportunity for you to buy low, and when it's continue up, especially leaders in their sector. I know that in this telecom sector, yes, this strong company, whether it's not a leader, but I believe it's one of the strong telecom company we have. But the two in that sector are very active. That are listed. Others are there, but these two that are listed, we know the numbers and the territory they are covering, and what was going to support their cash flow. Even as market is kind of flogging the company now, they've not seen the results, selling down. For those like me that if you have cash, you're waiting to see where the fallen knife will land, and then you cannot jump in. Like I tell you that as it's pulling back, you want to buy in at this correction, you can buy in stages for this stock. Yes, coming down, we want to look at what is happening in the market. Before that, I would say that as we speak now, market is doing has crossed down 51,000 mark. Serious market is doing 50,500 and 515.22 points, pricing about 883.34 points down. That's equals to about 1.75. I've said earlier percent down. And the market is very, very in a dicey situation as we speak. This I'll say this is a sharp negative market. We're seeing 20 stock on the decline already this morning. Just 30 stock on the gainers chart or the gainers table. Then if you look at the 23 no losers led by MTN, followed by PZ. We're seeing FTN Coco. We're seeing the life of UPDC, and also we're seeing GSK and others. No, but these are the top five. If you go to the losers gainers chart, one will just trade there. You see Japan Gold, followed by UBA and the Dangote Sugar. But if you look at it in terms of the top trade, for you to know the volume of these stocks that are traded this morning. Also, the volume we're seeing in the market is not too. It's just we're seeing a little improvement in the volume. But I believe that the volume is still very, very short as we speak. And for that note, we want to see what's going to happen at the end of the day. But on terms of top trade volume, we're seeing Flower Mill leading, followed by GT Code, Zenith Bank, Sterling Bank, and what and UBA. These are the top trade as we speak now for the market. But I believe that I want to go to our chart to look at what is happening before I call the indicators. But I want to take what we call a trend line to see where the market is now. You see our trend line now. That's that the market is breaking down the 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 breaking down again. Sorry, let me put it here. Yeah, you can see this is a trend line. Market has broken down. This is a trend line. You can see it's not coming below the trend line. You can see that today I said the market is already in a decline phase. If you have read what I wrote this morning, you can see it here now. This is a decline phase. This is the uptrend. You can see, but this is market has broken down the uptrend. Say on a long run, the market is still bullish. As we speak morning, this morning I can see that it has broken it down. But let's see how far to go before a rebound. And also, if you look at this, another strong, resistant support level already. Here and here, and this is what we call 50 Fibonacci before the thing it traces up. For now, that tested it, it break down this 50 Fibonacci. We're going back to see where to stop before a rebound. But I believe it is it depends on the strength of this number and market perception. Don't forget that this also entry dividend period, but we're seeing a misreaction in this period that market is not reacting to the result as we speak. It just tell you the liquidity is so in the system, it's also a problem. When there's high cost of a fund, liquidity is bound to also to reduce the system, and that is instead of increasing the interest rate just to move up liquidity. That's why it's called monetary policy tightening. Forgetting that it's not the fund, that the market in the economy that is moving it, because what we are seeing is not too much liquidity in the system pushing the cost of goods. This pushing the price of goods. This is not too much money circulation. This is cost push for inflation, and that need to change the strategy. It is not only high rate hike we use to change to correct this kind of inflation, because the more you are increasing rate, the more you are kind of suffocating, kind of trying to deflate whatever that is happening in the economy. Because the more cost increase and the cost of production, already I've said it before, that high cost of energy, now they will increase the pump price of fuel. Also, we are seeing that this is high. This is going to affect the inflation, and that also contributes. That CPN says is as long as there's a high inflation, that means the more they increase, the more they're going to siphon this economy, because of what rate inflation is not ready to come down, because farmers are not going back to the farm. Even we're entering harvest season, because there's not enough farming activities, price of goods and services, or even farm produce will still remain high because of what scarce production, because the demand is high and what they are coming from the farm is little, because many people were not in the farm because of what of insecurity. I believe this is why you and I, as an investor, look at those sectors that will know that their numbers, like I said it earlier, if you remember, that those that are playing financial market like UCAP can always move from equity to what to fixed income. In that market, is still making money. But for those that are in risk sector where you can't easily change your production line, you can't really dump and go here, their earnings will be affected. And that's why I said, in the last class we did about what we call economic circle, we did about market circle, talk about pattern and others. If you have not, if you missed the class, you can go to the to the channel, go to YouTube. That's why I said subscribe. So that when all this is operated, you can easily know exactly what to do when listen to them. These are what we are saying now, but I believe that there's no cause for alarm. Who will say, Ambrose, we are not worried in the market? I'm not worried, because I see that what has supported the market even before now is the earnings. Even when they have less foreign participants, those earnings have not changed. We are seeing impressive earnings. But it's like liquidity is what I'm seeing that is the problem of the market, because of what? Because of high cost of what? Of fund. Where liquidity was low, and interest rate was low, there was money in the market because people have access to cheap fund. But now there is high cost, people are not having access to fund. That's why you can see even the volume traded This lending will tell you that there's no much activity because of what liquidity is becoming a problem for people to speculate, for people to even trade. That's why the hot money only comes from this PFA, this is not investor, and they don't just jump to the market. It's still reason why they jump to the market. Now that we're seeing any season, they want to see these numbers coming to the market, do their due diligence analysis before they start buying. That's why I said all we do be in a good stock and wait to see the numbers. That's why I said even as at this week, we didn't put any buy and sell signal to out there because we're already in the peak of any season. We want to see those numbers that were positioned earlier before now, so that our stop loss all will guide us. When the number comes, limit our expectation before it touch our stop loss, we actually have exited that position so that we can protect our capital to play market when the market turn up again. This is how to do because market is always oscillate, it always go up and down, and that's the beauty of the market. You can see that as I said, it has crossed down, but now I want to call other indicators. Let's go to let's call our indicators for our class. I know that our time is fast spent, but we need to look at some stocks. But let's take our two. I want to bring out our two strength indices. Let's put that indicators up now in this class. Our two strength indicator. Yes, I want to call it up, and also I want us to call our money flow and our money flow and our T line. So the only two we want to use today. And lastly, it is exponential. I know people are concerned that the market is on this direction, but it's part of the market. Just a side patient, just watch your position. Yes, you can see the market now. Looking at the indicators here, or what we have just put on the system now, you can see that the uptrend have been kind of no, you can see the uptrend have been hit. Below it now, market is close to the uptrend. You can see from here to here, but the market is still up. But you can see a trend that is confirming a decline market, which I've said a lot of decline phase of the market. But you want come and look at what this what we call the true strength indicator. Come here and see when it was up. You can see here down here. We can see all this while the market was going here, it was still down. It tried to to go up across here when the market moved out from the 52,000 mark again before it started correcting again. You can see that it has crossed down. And money flow is just trying to turn, see at the below 20, within the 19, 19 point. And this is a bit for this is only good news. Yesterday the market was around 18 terms of money flow. It's up marginally today. That's why the market is going well. We're seeing some little fund enter the market, but because of the high capital that are put in the market, that is making the market not to feed that fund in the market. But this fund is very low because market is below 50 points in terms of money flow. Anytime the market is below that, yes, tell that there's no much liquidity in the market. As we speak, you can see it for yourself here. And this for a day chart. You can see. Let's quickly look at what is happening in a 1 hour chart for the general market. You can see the position here. You can see it for yourself. For money flow is above 40, 45, 46. But you can see it has been within this period. It has not been on a 1 hour chart. Tell that if not the high cap that are pulling down, what we saw yesterday was as a result of MTN losing. Also, we're seeing today again. And you can see that even that money flow on a 1 hour chart is still remain above 40, 46 to 50. That range is still where it is. Tell you that, but I'll tell you the true strength index telling us that market is not looking good as we speak now. You can see the sign already from the chart we're seeing above here. But we're going to quickly look at what is happening in the flower May. At the same time, let's look at this UBA. UBA is resisting decline. But how far will MTN go in this downtrend? I think if this trade, we can also quickly look at UPDC. Let's look at this four stop because of our time. Let's quickly start from what is happening in in flower May that we're seeing this volume. Is that where we should go now? Ask yourself. Let's see what is happening in flower May. Let's see what is happening in flower May. Flower May, Nigeria. Let's see what is happening in flower May as we speak now. This is a 1 hour chart. The stock is below the T line as we speak. You can see it yourself here. Then I see that it's not looking good. There's a good volume here. This is a good volume, but this volume is a down volume. It's not uptrend, and the fund is not entering the stock. It tells you story that you need to watch. We're seeing volume in that stock, but price is not responding to that. That means you need to watch. You can see here, even with the volume, we're seeing that on the day chart it's still below the T line, and you can see the The true strength tells us strength is even coming down. No, there's no strength because weak and money flow is still looking down. Even on the day chart, that tells you that you need to be careful in this stock. But let's see, we'll say when you see volume, you need to watch what the volume for. But you can see this is straight 3 days pullback for this stock on a daily chart. Trading below the T line for me needs to watch very careful. Don't jump into such stock as to speak now. So let's go and let's look at what is happening in UBA and the MTN. Time for me to look at UPDC. Let's look at UBA. UBA is the only banking stock on the gainer chart now. This hour, only three of them for UBA. Let's see what is UBA. UBA on a day chart, you can see yes below the T line, but trying to resist the decline. Once it's a good one, we have not can see that even all the momentum indicators are still showing sign of weakness until there's an upturn here. Upturn I will not say here, but you can see on the price action is green. We want to look at others for UBA. But let's look at UBA 1 hour chart. In that UBA 1 hour chart, you can see now is slightly above the T line for the price. It's a good sign. You can see it here. It's a good sign. And what I'm seeing here for me is a good one for UBA. For those in UBA, it's also your position. You can see that momentum is also looking up for UBA. Once it crosses the red one, that is a good time for UBA. And also for money flow is still very low, around 20, 21. For me, let's still watch. But if it goes higher than this, good work, but it is a good sign for UBA. Let's look at this MTN and finally look at the UPDC before we call it a day in this class for today. Yes, MTN has been battered the last 2 to 3 days, but on a 1 hour chart, I can tell you that there's a sign of resisting decline for you MTN. You can see it here that people are taking advantage of this pullback in the stock. You can see before it had touched as low as almost 980, but you can see that it's coming back to almost 200 now again. Which is good for me. It's a good one for dividend, and like there's a sign here, but money flow is still flat. But let's wait and see. But let's go back to a day chart for MTN to finally conclude. MTN also, as you see here, fund started entering the stock. On your money flow is starting to turn up here. You can see today now. Let's see whether it will sustain. I believe that until there's a reversal here before we can now say this is what is happening at this moment in this stock. On this note, let's keep our finger crossed for MTN. But let's see with what is happening. The number will show if there's news for the number is bad. That is why when it finally hit the market, we understand what is happening in the stock. It is very, very important for us as trader or investors in the market. Finally, let's look at what's happening in UPDC. Let's look at UPDC. UPDC. That's what is happening in UPDC. To know exactly where to be here, but I believe that this is stock that if you are there, don't panic. As you expect to see the company have your result. You can see where money flow is on for this company. It's still like above 75. Around 7. For me, it's a good one. Let's still watch. Let's see. This is a sign of weakness to in terms of volume. But look at this candlestick here. Let's see. This have to be stable around the 160, around 160, around 161 14. Let's watch and see what it will close at the end of the day. But at the price it is very good for me attractive. You can see after that being above the T line on the chart, just few days now, you can see for 2 days, that's why I go back to this level. But usually this is strong support level for the stock, which is around the 1 naira. I've not got to that level, but let's see how far it will go from here. Yes, I would say thank you for staying with us this period. We look forward to see you tomorrow. But the market remains a bit dicey, looking down, led by the high cap stocks. Let's look forward and see the earnings that will hit the market today before the session finish by 2:30. And after that, that will also inform what form we're going. I'll tell you the increase in interest rate is short-term fund in the market. So I believe that design investor and the high cap store, the institutional investor, sorry, that play the market, and they see this number, they will position their board, their portfolio for them to know what to do at the right time after looking at this number. And for that, I'll say thank you for your time, and let's wait to see what the market will do at the end of the day. Enjoy your rest of your trading day. See you tomorrow. I remain Ambrose for more. Thank you.